Good morning, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, thanks.
Oh, thank you, Peter. Thank you. All right, so we'll be starting shortly, but let's just allow say 2 to 3 minutes for more people to join in, then we will start. Thank you for your patience. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining early. Um, I think we can start now. This is a good time to start, right? And we're grateful that you joined early. Please confirm you can hear me loud and clear again.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, good morning, everyone. And just to start, imagine you are planning a road trip to a city that you have never visited before, meaning that you do not know the tactics, like how the place is, and you have two options, either for you to start driving based on assumptions, based on what you think, hoping you will find the best route, the cheapest fuel stations, the safest routes, or you have a second option where you have to spend a little time gathering information, you checking traffic updates, studying the map, and perhaps even like asking questions from people that have gone to the city before. If I ask the room now, everybody would want to go for the second option. And the reason is because we believe that better information would lead to better decision. So the truth is that the upstream oil and gas industry is not different, because we know that company invest millions, even sometimes billions of dollars to make decisions about where to drill, where to explore, develop, and even to produce. and which is why we are here today. We are here today to learn about market intelligence and technical advisory, how it increases or amplifies upstream value. And today's session is going to be wonderful because I have a very wonderful person in the room today, Mr. Peter Elliott, and he will be taking us through the presentation, and then we'll have a short panel session where we'll be answering some questions, and then we'll make it open to the audience. If at any time you have a question, and or maybe you cannot hear us, you can drop message on the chat box, and then my colleagues will just take those questions and we would get to answer them. Welcome once again, and thank you for joining us. All right, so just to move. So this is the agenda for today's session, from the opening to the icebreaker, and then we just take the opening remarks, and we read the speaker's bio, we do the presentation, then the mono panel discussion, we engage the audience, and finally the closing remarks. All right. So at this point, I would love to call my general manager, Mr. Azayo Ojo, to take the opening remarks on behalf of Harvex Geosolutions. Over to you, sir. Mr. Azayo Ojo, can you hear us? Okay, so if he's not on the call, my MD is currently on the call, Mr. Peter Macaulay. All right, so I would just, I think, yeah, MD, please, can you
Hello, good
mute
morning,
and yes.
everyone. If you can hear me, please signify by reacting. If you can hear me, please signify
Morning,
by
Peter.
reacting. Good
We can
morning.
hear you.
Right. Thank you, everyone, for joining this webinar. We truly appreciate the opportunity to meet with everyone again on this platform. And we believe that this meeting or this webinar will be of great value to us, as we say in the caption, amplifying upstream value. And hopefully Peter and Olaitan and the team will be able to do justice to the topic. And please feel free to contact us, asking questions or asking for guidance. And hopefully we would have an exciting time. Thank you all for joining. And we also look forward to further engagements. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MD, Mr. Peter Macaulay. So just very quickly, we'll be doing an interactive warm-up. If this was a physical gathering, I would say we should all stand up and maybe dance or just do some exercises. But right now, I want us to bring out our phones and then just scan the QR code on the screen. We have some few questions just to warm up. Bring out your phones. Let's oh, nice, we have one person joined already. Amazing. All right, please bring out your phones, scan the QR code on the screen, or you can just go to menti.com on your phone and just put in the code. Don't worry, very simple questions. It is not exam. So we are safe. All right, we have 5 people. So we have about 24 people on the call. So if we can have 60%, which is about 15 people, that would be wonderful. So we have 8 people joined already. Can we have more people? Thank you. 9 people. 10. Amazing. Amazing. We are active. Thank you, guys. Thank you. More people. More people. Don't worry. It is not a competition. It's just some simple questions. 12 people joined already. Thank you. Can we have 3 more? Please, 3 more. 3 more people. 3 more people. Well, we have 13. Cool, cool, amazing. 2 more people. Two more people. Thank you. 14. One more person. Just one, just one. Tick, 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 tick. One more person. Thank you. Okay. So now we can just proceed. Right. We are 16 now. So what comes to mind when you hear upstream value? What word or words come to mind when you hear upstream value? Is it growth? Is it production? Is it money? Is it just oil and gas? What word or words come to mind when you hear upstream value? Production, gas, oil, beautiful. Exploration, thank you, thank you. Okay, return of investment, cost efficiency, exploitation, MPV, revenue. Nice. Can we have more people respond? Cool, cool. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Investment, growth. Thank you. Maximization, resource management. Okay. Clarity. Oh, barrel of oil. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Can we have more? Maybe like 2 more people. Money. Hey, this person would like money. Money. Okay. What else? Exploration value. Okay. Thank you very much. So let's just go to the next one. So which area creates the most value today? Is it the upstream sector, the midstream sector, the downstream sector, all of the sectors, or you can't just say all? Amazing. Upstream. Okay, upstream is winning. All is just one. More response. Upstream. Wow, beautiful. All right. All. Okay, so we have 50-50 now. Okay. Upstream is winning. All. Okay, 4. All right, 7 and 5. All right. 7 and 6. Beautiful. 9 and 7. Amazing. Okay, 9. Is that all? I think we are good. So upstream and all of the streams. Amazing. So can you rank this from most to least important for upstream value? So do you think operational reliability is the most important, or is it reservoir performance? Is it cost efficiency? Is it market intelligence? Is it team capability? Rank all of them from the most to the least important. Just very quickly. Okay, market intelligence is leading. Can we have more? Okay, MI is still leading. Can we have more responses? Okay, reservoir performance is coming up. Beautiful. But MI is still leading. Can we have more responses, please? Okay. MI is still leading. Beautiful. Okay. Wow. Reservoir performance is now leading. All right. Thank you very much, guys. So from here now, I think RP is leading, and then we have the market intelligence, the team capability, operational reliability, and then cost efficiency. Right. Thank you. So what is one challenge you want this presentation to address? So the idea of doing this interactive warm-up is just for us to have a view of what you are thinking, of what the audience is also thinking about the topic. So now, what is that one challenge you want the presentation to address? Just one word is okay. It could even be a phrase or a full sentence. Okay. You want it to address lack of valuable information. Amazing. You want it to address upstream transparency. Okay, accurate intel. Nice. Reserve. Beautiful. Can we have more responses, please? Okay, understanding how upstream value can be maximized. Okay. Market intelligence. Okay. So Peter, can you see what the audience are saying? So I'm sure he's ready for all of you to answer all these questions. Okay, so how Nigeria will be independent on the upstream value. Beautiful. Fiscal clarity, access to newer technology, accurate intelligence. Okay, thank you very much. I think we are over 15 minutes gone now, and then we'll just go straight to the agenda for today, the reason why we are here, to know how market intelligence and technical advisory amplifies upstream value. Thank you for staying with me to this time. And at this time, I would just love to read our speaker's profile, Mr. Peter Elliott. Peter holds a degree in geology and an MSc in petroleum geology. He has 25 years experience in the international oil and gas industry, working in new ventures and business development. He has recent experience of building oil company JVs in West Africa, including Guinea-Bissau, Sao Tome and Principe, Senegal AGC, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Equatorial Guinea. Peter has a track record of advising large cap companies and small startups in identifying and securing suitable growth assets in Africa. Recognized as a specialist in sub-Saharan Africa, he has completed deals with the likes of Owando, Black Star, Talisman, and Roxas. Ladies and gentlemen, with virtual applause, please let's bring Mr. Peter Elliott as he continues with his session. Over to you, Peter.
Thank you, Olaitan. And thank you very much for the invitation today to take this webinar and present to your team and your esteemed delegates today on the webinar. I appreciate everyone taking an hour out of their busy schedules. I have a short presentation, and then we can take any Q&A, and we'll hand it back to Harvex and Olaitan and her team. I wanted to just start with reminding everybody about NVentures. We are a global market intelligence company. We specialize in GIS databases, reports, mainly upstream oil and gas activity. The name NVentures is also suggests that we are very supportive of new ventures and business development programs. So apart from activity, we also cover opportunities that oil companies and gas companies and explorers can get involved in. We have the E&P business and market intel segment. We cover natural hydrogen. We have very large geological databases in the EarthMoves libraries, and we have several other products around the world. Our coverage is almost global. We have 6 regions that span most of the E&P industry today. So on the back of that introduction, I'd like to take you through some of our thoughts, having spoken to the team here and got some interesting information together and ideas on the ability to amplify value through market intelligence and technical advisory. So the value of business intelligence as we see it is primarily to provide insights in order to understand trends. And that analysis leads to better strategic positioning for most oil companies. If you consider an oil company to be a technical team trying to find a sweet spot, or an investment team trying to find the best return on investment, these are the kind of insights and data that people require to make those best decisions on strategy. Market intelligence gives access to structured data. So You could spend a lot of time trying to build your own databases and look for accurate information. But to go through a market intelligence provider like NVentures allows you to access structured databases. And that's on the back of strong relationships with people like our partners, Harvex, who kindly invited us today, other partners around Africa and the globe, and directly with government organizations like the regulator here in Nigeria, the NUPRC. We're very, very pleased to work directly with on this. Some examples of where that works really well: when you have a structured database and open access to intel accuracy data. In Malaysia, for example, the NPM have done a good job there, and offshore Malaysia has seen a huge increase in investment and exploration. ANPG in Angola has a similar trajectory. ANP in Brazil. These are all, along with NUPRC, recognized as running competent, accurate, transparent operations to improve access to structured data, intelligence, and therefore enhance or amplify investments. It's also a good tool for individual teams, for new ventures and business development. So screening basins or blocks, evaluating those assets, and then helping them capture the opportunities. We cover technical data, so subsurface information, very important to us, the play, the reservoir, the parameters behind the productivity of any given well or field. And we cover the commercial, the above ground information, the fiscal regime, the stability, and the long-term outlook for investment there. And then finally, we cover the news like any other good intelligence provider. And that's actually really useful because it sets the scene. What's happening in Nigeria today? What's happening in Angola today? Why is Namibia in the news? It sets out trends. And then from that, you develop opportunities to participate. It also helps with portfolio management on a more granular level. If you're looking at entitlements of your partners or yourselves or your competitors, and that market intelligence, the granular intelligence behind ownership entitlements is vital for understanding where your investment's going. Data is always good. The more data, the better. And I think this does definitely feed into the new realm and the new paradigm of AI, language models, large and small. And oil companies and investors are definitely assimilating a lot more data than they used to, and allowing computers to develop models and trends from that. And then finally, the value really comes in managing your position with your peer group, with your cohort. What are your competitors doing? Are they doing things better or worse than you? And yeah, it's a very competitive industry, as we all know. We can see a huge amount of competition now, especially across West Africa, as opportunities and acreage are being pounced on, literally. So this is an example of an entry level to market intelligence for Nigeria via NVentures, for example. We have the blocks colored here by operator. You have fields, wells not shown, prospects mapped from various sources. And from there, you can start to develop an understanding of the opportunities, the current activity set, and future trends. So here we have the Nigeria deal flow from the last couple of years. There have been some transactions. Nigeria, I think it's fair to say, has been relatively quiet in the last decade, but not unlike the rest of the upstream industry as we've weathered a number of storms. Most recently, though, activity's picked up. So you see some farm-ins now. You see some asset swaps like Total in 257. You see sales purchase agreements, full purchases of other assets and companies. So the super majors selling their part of the JV, for example. And you see awards and ground floor entry as well. So definite uptick in transactions and investment across the Delta, onshore and offshore. For example, we noticed from studying a lot of that data, we've all witnessed the big reshuffle in the last 5 or 6 years in Nigeria. So the original entry point for a lot of the majors, super majors, was the good old JV, and that stood the test of time for 30 or 40 years. And that was how the relationship worked between the IOCs and the government and via an NPC. Well, that's all changed, of course, and the super majors have generally extricated themselves from the original JV model and taken up new PSC positions in the deep water. So Seplat transacted with Esso, Renaissance group of companies, Aradel, ND, etc., transacted with Shell. Varis took the Total piece. Eni are in the process now of selling their 5%, and there's strong industry rumours that NNPC are running a process for their remaining 55% in the old JVs. The main effect of this, as we see, again, using your market intelligence database and analysis, is we see the migration of the super majors away from the shallow water on the onshore, and their focus is returning to these big developments in the deep water. So we now see FIDs being agreed and certainly timetabled for the next 6 to 12 months on some of these huge discoveries that have been sat relatively dormant for 10 or 20 odd years. So finally, Bonga, southwest, north, the Owowo discovery looks like it should be tied back. Zaba suddenly come back to life now that the Eni Shell deal has been agreed on the old 245 OPL. And there's several others. Total are very busy with their partners around Agena, Akpo, Priori, and the satellite fields there. And there's still a few we can easily point to that are still waiting for that little bit of attention out in the deep water, Uge, Bolochotai, and Odoro, etc. But the trend is there, and the intelligence has led us to understand that a lot better, and therein revealing the opportunities. In terms of ground floor opportunities, Nigeria and the NUPRC has been incredibly busy, and I'd have to say very successful, as this slide attests, to successfully launching and carrying out bid rounds and competitive licensing round opportunities. So these are the last 2 bid round results. And you see a lot of acreage being taken up with very healthy work programs and commitments, mostly in the Western Delta, in the sweet spot of the giant oil field prospects in the deep water Western Delta area. We covered drilling, and we again have noticed an uptick finally in the amount of exploration drilling in Nigeria. There has been a hiatus over about a decade since 2014-15, where deep water true wildcat activity ceased, and there was really a focus on ILX and development of existing fields and resources. So now we see a little bit of a return to exploration. Owowo was probably the most important discovery in recent years in the southeast. Agena and Akpo have had a lot of drilling. Agbami has had a further phase, and Seco. What we also do, which is of course of even more use when predicting where your investment and focus should be, is we cover planned wells. So we have a big well to watch, W2W, database for Nigeria and all the other countries we cover. And this small inset illustrates our numbers for estimated barrels to be found behind these wells to watch, which are illustrated by these triangles on the map. So again, a lot of activity around Agena, Seco, and even some planned activity in the shallow water and onshore, where the government is promoting onshore exploration as well, quite hard. In terms of deal flow and opportunities, We cover a lot of on-market active data rooms, as we call them, so farm-ins or A&D opportunities. And again, these are proliferating as we speak, as more and more companies come to the market and more IOCs visit the Nigeria scene to look for new opportunities. A company just did their first share subscription on AIM in London today, Coastal Africa. They raised $17 million in order to find opportunities exactly in these mature basins like the Delta and in the lower Congo basin in Angola, specifically to invest now in these oil and gas opportunities that have been overlooked. And the ability to clearly see the opportunity, to understand it, to analyze it is very significant, and improves access for the investors. We also, of course, keep track of the resource density across all these plays and fields. We have reserves databases, and these are really vital for identifying the exact segment in the market that you're or the asset set that you're targeting for your particular strategy. Without these data sets, the strategy doesn't have a framework to sit on. So one very good example of amplifying the message via market intelligence is acreage promotion. So I just highlight here some of the obvious or hopefully obvious advantages to having accurate, timely, good information across bid round opportunities. So the ability to communicate the opportunity, the bid round, the licensing round, the terms is of course vital. It's a big industry out there. There are potential clients in the Far East, in the West, in the Middle East, and having an accurate, open, structured database of bid round information enhances transparency and therefore trust from investors that nothing's going to change. It's a level playing field, and they know exactly the size and shape of the investment that they're looking at. It allows the NOC or the regulator, and UPRC in this case, to illustrate that structured, organized opportunity to participate. So they can show the steps, the database available, and again, this idea of a level playing field to access opportunities. It can provide access to data, and we do see a lot of bid rounds around the world that have been very successful on the back of opening a lot more technical data, for example. But that also extends to commercial data, model PSCs, model agreements, petroleum codes. I mean, the PIA, for example, in Nigeria has made a huge change since about 2021 to the whole industry. And that has to be communicated, and it has to be understood, and it has to be accessed without any particular friction between the investor and the government. There's a role to promote. So having data above ground, below ground, a lot of technical insight helps promote and gets investors excited about these assets and blocks and fields. And then overall, these all come together to improve the competitive environment. So companies know what they're bidding on, they know what they want, they can see insight into the terms, and therefore they are more likely to compete with their peer group for the assets. So data, like I say, really helps. The more data is available, the fiscal terms have to be good, certainly have to be clear and communicated, and the prospectivity has to be communicated via these structured bid round intelligence databases. And then finally, the structure of the bid round or the license round itself can be communicated so that the whole industry knows that there is a timeline, there are deadlines, there are pre-qualification requirements, and there are certain expectations for the regulator and the investor and the oil company to meet in order to have a successful opportunity through the bid round process. Trust the process. So, for example, we've covered various bid rounds recently in Nigeria, which have been very well publicized, promoted, and they've received a number of investments on the back of that. So the way we generally communicate that is to summarize the blocks on offer. We add all of the various documents and block summaries and commercial and legal documents that the government publishes to support that bid round. So 22, 24, the most recent 2025 bid round is actually due to close on Friday. So if you get anything from this seminar today, it's a reminder to get the bids printed off, stamped and delivered by Friday for the 2025 bid round. And then as we speak, NUPRC are talking about launching the 26 bid round in the Q3 this year. So there's a lot of stuff to keep on top of. It has to be accurate, timely, and structured so that it's accessible. So I just want to finish on some points to make on what we've learned from looking at this market intelligence today. So the deep water Nigeria developments are coming back into focus. The super majors have sat on some of the big discoveries for a while, but there's certainly a resumption of massive investment in these developments in the deep water. The majors and super majors are clearly migrating from the onshore and shallow out to deep water, and that does two things. It moves these FID plans a lot closer because that's their focus, and it releases a huge opportunity set onshore and shallow, where there is just as much oil and gas to find and develop as ever has been in the Delta. And I'm sure I hope a lot of you agree with that. Companies like the Renaissance joint ventures, Seplat, Varus, they have all already taken advantage of some of this, but there's a whole lot more to take advantage of. And again, that leads to near field developments, ILX, and the reassessment of older fields which have great resources available. The other trend has been much better bid round access, and we've talked about that. New exploration is back on the agenda. We see that right across the West African frontiers, none more than the deep water delta. And we see a lot more new seismic and geotechnical activity. So there's more surveys, there's more studies, and there's more multi-client activity. So how does this business intelligence amplify investment? The final messages from looking at briefly today on this: Nigeria is certainly open for business, and that's a trend that's really picked up in the last 18 months. Proven undeveloped discoveries, previously drilled opportunities, onshore shallow, represent a huge new sector that a growing sector of investors are starting to look at again. Regular, broad bid round opportunities are now being promoted very effectively, and are achieving good results with new incoming investors. And a lot of those investors, it's worth pointing out, are Nigerian firms with tremendous skills and capacity to take on these exploration campaigns. And it's fantastic to see the likes of, R28, for example, Multiplan, several other, big Nigerian firms moving their focus into investing in indigenous oil and gas opportunities. So these structured, the structured center of investment provides high returns. There's more transparency, there's more trust, and this indeed helps the investment landscape. And the overall message is, that Nigeria is a world-class center of potential well into the future in what is a very low risk, mature basin, and therefore compares well with some exploration investment that we are seeing across other basins in West Africa. So I really appreciate the opportunity to present my slides today and the messages from NVentures and PVE. Certainly happy to field any questions or comments that the delegates have today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peter Elliott. Please, I want to see more reactions. Clapping emoji, please. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. That was beautiful. No, it was good to hear you speak about the Nigeria active data rooms, from the exploration to the appraisal, development, and then to the production. I really enjoyed myself, and my notes is actually very full. And at this point, I want to open the floor for questions. If there are any questions from the participants or from the attendees. And while people are still trying to gather their questions, just want to recognize the various companies that are represented here. I will not mention names of people. I will just mention the companies just to say thank you. From Haradel, Rano Accrete, I see people from DigiConnect, definitely the NVentures team, they are here. Waheb, FAMFA, Onshore Frontiers, Total Energy, Chapal Energies. Thank you so much for joining us. So please, if you have any question, just feel free to either raise your hand and then I'll just allow you to speak, or you can just drop your question on the chat box. All right, so let me just share my screen. All right, so while we are waiting for people's questions, so this is like a two-in-one session in which the speaker would just have like few minutes to speak and then would have like a mini panel session just to ask some questions and then for us to get or gain more insights on the theme market intelligence and technical advisory, how it amplifies upstream value. So Peter, are you ready for my questions?
Sure, Olaitan, I'm looking forward to them.
Yay. All right, thank you. Okay, so I'll start with this. We all know that the upstream sector is becoming increasingly data driven. So for you, how do you see market intelligence changing the way operators approach exploration, appraisal, and investment decisions across Africa? Or we can just say Nigeria to be precise now. How do you see market intelligence changing the way operators approach exploration, appraisal, and investment decisions across Africa, main focus Nigeria?
Yeah, no, thank you for the question. I think what we're trying to show today is there has to be access to market intelligence, and it should be clear, timely, and accurate. And I think the trend is towards that. There's certainly when myself and my colleagues started scouting back in a small office in Tetbury with IEDS back in the 90s, there was a lot of opacity with the oil industry. There were some countries and provinces where it's difficult to get intel, activity information, and therefore finding opportunities was difficult. So the trend has been to become more transparent, to become more accurate and timely. And what this does, in answer to your question, it allows companies to sharpen their strategies. So it allows a company to be more focused on the strategy that they want, that they promise their investors, that they need to deliver on. And it also allows them to achieve the strategy more likely because they have the intelligence to back up why they think the opportunity set is there. And then they have the intelligence and the data to help build the winning bid or build a strategy that helps capture that opportunity. So it's both vital, and I'd like to think it's on an increasing trend of importance as well.
Thank you. I love the fact that you said access to market intelligence should be clear, timely, and accurate. Those three factors are very, very important because if it is clear and accurate, but it is not timely, then there's no value that will be gotten from it. Or if it is accurate but is not clear enough for people to understand, then no value will be gotten from it also. And I also got one thing where you said that this would actually help companies to be more focused on their strategies. I think that's really, really spot on, right? So my second question, right? Please, Avex team, if there are any questions in the chat box, please just let me know, just prompt me. Thank
I
you.
know KK's got his hand up.
Oh, okay. So let me just allow Sakeke to ask his question, then I'll proceed with my own questions. I will just let me try to allow him speak. Okay, Sakeke, please, you can unmute and speak now.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to apologize for joining the meeting late. I was coming from another meeting. So this is KK. I'm Kanu from Waib. Peter, nice to hear you.
Nice to hear you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you. Beautiful, wonderful presentation materials.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, really, really very good. I was kind of like waiting to hear something on the frontier basins for Nigeria, Benin Basin, Chad, Anambra. What your thoughts are. Maybe those are more one-on-one discussions. And then also what other opportunities are in West Africa. So maybe those might be, one-on-one discussions or subsequent meetings. But thank you. Maybe because you've done the Niger Delta one so good and so timely, it made, my mind just stretched to the other close things to the Niger Delta. Thank you very much. And thanks to Harvex Solutions, Geosolutions. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, KK. It's always a pleasure to see you again and to hear from you. So thank you very much for making the time today, and I hope you're doing well. Look, it's a great question. The frontier basins are really important to the government and the regulator in Nigeria. The Delta looks like the gift that keeps giving, and it is. It's the goose that lays the golden egg. But of course, all good things do come to an end. And the future of oil and gas exploration, frontier exploration, besides the ultra deep water, is onshore these big basins in Nigeria. The maps we produced today, we had to compromise, KK, because we wanted to show all the vast extents of the frontier basins for Nigeria. We had to, because that is a very large area to cover in all our maps, we decided to focus on the Delta, and you picked up on that rightly. But of course, there's 2/3 more undrilled or underexplored opportunities everywhere from the Dahomey, Benin basins, right across onshore the Alhambra and some of the other basins you described. I think it's important, probably more important, to find information, to reveal that information, and to provide it in a structured context. NVentures, I think we really focus on delivering geological context with all of the intelligence that we provide, so that at any given point you could be looking at a block you may want to bid on onshore, and you're going to see the subsurface context, you're going to see the play, as well as the terms and the fiscal regime for that block and the entitlements. So yeah, it's a really good point, and we do try very hard to help companies understand that unexposed opportunity on these onshore and other basins. And then just finally, on the back of your question, yeah, you certainly see that trend in West Africa as a whole. So I've just written an article recently, you can find it online, illustrating how the super majors are scaling up actually in their frontier exploration efforts, and they are taking very large positions, basin scale positions across West Africa, where in the past They were very focused on a block or one single play. So it's a really good point, and thank you for making that. And we are covering that new trend with great focus, and we're very happy to provide our clients with that intel. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Sakeke, for the question. All right, so we have a question in the chat box, and I would read this out for you. It says, when screening frontier basins in Africa where data is sparse, how do you weight data quality and availability against prospectivity? And at what point does limited data alone disqualify an opportunity? So I will take the question again. When screening frontier basins in Africa where data is sparse, how do you weigh data quality and availability against prospectivity? And at what point does limited data alone disqualify an opportunity?
Yeah, thank you. Great question. Great question. I mean, this is a an age-old question if you think about it, because of course every single basin starts with zero data and proceeds unsteadily from there. I think the opportunity is for companies like NVentures and other data providers to find that data, to work and encourage local regulators to release data and again structure it and make it available in a timely fashion. It does weigh against prospectivity sometimes, but then that's when you call the geologist. Get the geologist in, get the maps on the table, and start using your imagination. At the end of the day, if you can put a source rock in a basin, then everything else can be built around that. The opportunities, the traps, the structures, the prospects, the fiscal regime, the timelines, everything else could go on. So a good bit of groundwork, bit of field work, you can actually deal with those issues quite significantly with the right approach. And then finally, I would just say, don't let data sparsity exclude or preclude an investment. Come to NVentures and work with us to dig deep and find the data and intel you need on any given basin.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Peter. Mr. Victor, I hope that answers your question. All right. So, Peter, so I still have more questions for you. And this particular question is related to the monthly newsletter that you and your team provide, on exploration and appraisal drilling intelligence. So I want you to tell us what are some of the key insights or trends operators should be paying closer attention to when reviewing this data. And I also wanted to talk about the accessibility. How do people access this monthly newsletter? Is it that it's always on your website? Is it physical, like the companies need to purchase or something? So I just wanted to give us clarification. So there are two questions here. You telling us the key insights or the trends that operators should pay closer attention to, and then you also talking about the accessibility.
Yeah, thank you, Olaitan. Yeah, so we've talked about the trends and the opportunities today. So the opening up of a myriad of opportunities in Nigeria is very significant. You can see that. You can see the trends we've described already. The super majors, leaving the old JVs and focusing on the big prizes in the ultra deep water that reasonably they only can do with the help of Nigerian firms. So the trend is to look for fields that haven't been developed to their full potential, single well discoveries that have never been developed, marginal fields that just need a little bit of TLC and some new technology, and then the A&D scene where a lot of divestments are coming to the market in rapid succession. So as they're divested by super majors or indeed other firms. The opportunity for gas is huge in Nigeria. Gas monetization is definitely back on the agenda. There's already, you know, relatively good infrastructure in Nigeria. There's three, I think, very successful LNG projects that have really paid out over the last 2 decades, and that will continue. There's a lot more domestic gas utilization plans, and we see more focus on developing and using gas from offshore fields. So that's the other trend that we do not want to ignore, and good intel helps. In terms of our offering, we provide our clients with daily updates on drilling, deals, blocks, concessions, bid rounds, prospects, oil and gas fields. Everything that changes on the ground, we update our online live GIS portal, and that includes a news feed, and our clients generally log into that each morning and find out what's going on. Then every 4 weeks, we compile that into a 100 or 200 page activity report, and that goes out in PDF to all of our clients. And then finally, via email, if a well is spud or a discovery is made or a big deal is announced, we'll have daily smaller PDF reports focused on those interim results through the month. So our work is really designed for deliverability. We put very few barriers, we put no barriers between our clients and the intelligence they need. We provide company-wide subscriptions. Everything's live on a browser. You don't even have to run any specific software. We use off-the-shelf products like GIS, good old PDF. So you don't have to train anyone on new software. And we provide geological context in everything we report as well.
Beautiful. Thank you. I love, let's say, emphasis on no barriers. All right, thank you. So I want us to just move this conversation towards our regulator here in Nigeria, NEPRC. And we know that when it comes to data, like the first regulator that you mentioned is NEPRC. So I just want to ask how does access to the structured exploration data that you get from NEPRC enhance decision making for upstream investors? And I also wanted to just make a comment on how NEPRC have been supportive in terms of providing the data, right? Unfortunately, they couldn't join us this morning because they have a clashing meeting. So, but then they requested for meeting recording. So, right. So I want you to talk about how
Thanks for the heads up.
Data would, yeah, how the data would enhance decision making, and just make comments on how they have been providing the data.
Yeah.
Thank
No,
you.
thank you. Yeah, it's a really good point. We really value our relationship with NUPRC, and I have to thank Harvex Geosolutions for helping to broker that agreement and that relationship over the years. So thank you to the chairman and to yourself and your team, Olaitan. The relationship with NUPRC is vital. You know, they are the regulator, they are the custodian of data, they track activity, and of course they manage all the activity. You know, who's doing what, all the compliance of the oil companies, setting up bid rounds. I mean, the fact that they're not here today illustrates how busy they are. You know, managing all of this new wave of investments and licensing in the country. So it's a fantastic opportunity we've been given to work with NUPRC. We get regular updates on activities such as drilling, changes in bid round activity, geophysical activity, and we take that all in and we add as much value as we can by adding context ourselves, whether that's geological context with seismic or cross sections, or sometimes it's commercial context. So will comment on the fact that someone's drilling a well, and it's with a view to again appraising a field that might come to FID soon. So we add as much context as we can, and then in answer to your question, we go back to the fact that that intelligence, supported with a vital input from NUPRC, is relied upon, it's trusted, it's recognized in a structured format that NVentures deliver it, and it therefore helps with investment strategies across a number of oil companies looking at Nigeria today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Dear audience, please, if you have any question, please feel free to either drop in the chat box, or you can just raise your hand and I will allow you to speak, or the team will allow you to speak. Right. So, Peter, I have two more questions. One just before the closing question. So I guess maybe before we finish this question, maybe we would have one or two questions from the audience, right? Okay, so this question is just about indigenous operators. Remember, I kind of mentioned the various companies that are currently on the call, and the idea of me mentioning them is just for you to have an hang of the people that are currently on the call, right? And it's because of them I want to actually ask this question, right? So for indigenous operators that are looking to grow their portfolios, what practical strategies would you recommend for identifying, evaluating, and also de-risking opportunities?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, look, the indigenous scene in Nigeria is burgeoning, and it has been for a couple of years now, and it's wonderful to see that. There's always been a very strong drive towards local content, local accountability, and much more Nigerian investment, by the people for the people, and this is a fantastic trend. I'm really pleased some of the Nigerian oil companies are on the call today. We've worked with some of them before, and currently, and we certainly love to work with some of them into the future as well. I guess the answer is in terms of how they would benefit is to use the natural advantage of being a Nigerian indigenous company. So you've got an absolute wealth of skills and competency. Anyone who works with Nigerian firms always comes away, if you don't mind me saying, with a very positive sense of clear skills, competency, and a group of people that are incredibly conscientious in applying rigorous workflows to get the very best results. It's a very impressive work environment, I find, every single time. And I think the indigenous firms can marry that with access to their relationships in country, to other divesting opportunities and companies, with their understanding of the Delta and other basins, KK, in Nigeria. Because, of course, a lot of your geologists and geophysicists have lived and breathed Nigerian geology their whole careers. And it is subtle. There are challenges. It's not a slam dunk in Nigeria. A lot of majors and large caps have come and gone, in the past. You look at Devon and Nexen and people, ConocoPhillips. So, to have that indigenous competency and insight into the huge potential prospectivity of the Delta and other basins is really, really important. So the answer is to use those God-given advantages that you have as Nigerian firms. Develop the finance and investment sector as it is being developed, and support your regulator, who's doing a fantastic job at making more and more information, data, and opportunities available almost on a daily basis. So I would say that, and I certainly hope to work predominantly with the Nigerian indigenous firms going forward.
Thank you. Thank you, Peter. God-given advantages mean that we're rich, we are wealthy. All right, thank you. Just before my closing question to Peter, please, do we have any question, any comment? You can just raise your hand and then I'll allow you to speak. Okay, we have Sakeke again. I would just so you can unmute yourself. Yeah, you can unmute yourself and speak.
So let me first start by apologizing if I'm talking too much. It's Peter's presentation, but permit me.
No problem.
This is because of the question you asked about
Indigenous operators.
yes. We the small operators, tend to have one small block or one small field. NUPRC has been really fantastic. I said it at one of the meetings recently. They've really been fantastic in supporting the industry. Gone were the days when they used to be like trying to beat everybody in line, like policemen. Today, they are enablers. They're actually enabling the industry. And we see it much, much more with this CCE than I've ever seen it, which is really fantastic. One area I think will help the small operators is when we have regional studies. So somebody talked about sparse data. You might have sparse data in your block, but if you have the regional understanding and you have the geologist in the room, then he's able to put that regional understanding to see what's likely happening in his own block. In the UK, when I was with Chevron in the UK, we drilled wells in Congo with 2 seismic lines. But because we had data in the surrounding blocks, that helped to recommend that well, and it was a success. So NUPRC kind of like going beyond helping acquire regional data to doing regional studies, biostrat data. And just from the last comment, even regional financing, for example, talking not just with the technical people, but also with those who are capable of providing financing. So NUPRC, fantastic, really fantastic. I'm just saying there's still a little bit more that they can do to help us, the small operators. Thank you.
Thank you, KK. No, look, that's fantastic insight, and you have a long and illustrious career there, not just in Nigeria, in West Africa, I know, and other countries. So those insights are really vital and are really enlightening. So thank you. I guess the only thing I would say, you've explained it very well, is in agreement with you, the industry does seem to have moved away from these big regional technical studies that used to underpin the opening of the frontier basins, or even some of the mature basins where you would go back and re-look at a play or play fairway. And they take investment, don't they? They take commitment and they take pre-commitment. And I know Harvex Geosolutions has done a number of these big regional studies that help companies. And it's wonderful to remember how a lot of exploration started with these group studies or multi-client studies or basin scale studies. And I think you and I agree we definitely need to revisit that approach. Get the regulator to continue to support that approach, but get oil companies to come in earlier and support those regional studies. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter. Thank you so much, Sir KK. All right, so just this is the closing question, and we'll be answering this together, actually. And the question is, so if there is one key message you want participants to take away from today's session about unlocking upstream value, what would it be? So I want you to go first. One key message you want participants to take away from today's session about unlocking upstream value.
No, thank you, Olaitan. I think, after everything we've discussed today, I've tried to illustrate the value. So I don't need to rehash that. I think it's yeah, it's definitely obvious the value of good data, structured data. The key message for me is investors need confidence, and confidence comes from clarity. And that's where we can play our role, working with the regulator, NUPRC, working with our partners, Harvex, and working with our clients, the oil companies. So from clarity, you get confidence, and that means confidence to invest.
I love it. You
Thank you.
said investors need confidence and confidence needs clarity. And sincerely, if you are working with an organization like NVentures through Harvex Geosolutions, this is what you will get: the confidence, and then the clarity, right? Okay, so for me, I would say that market intelligence is not difficult. Like it is actually very, very simple. It simply means you just understanding the market before you invest so you can get optimum value. That's it for me. And I hope that people on this call, they've gotten value for their 1 hour dedicated to this conversation. And yes, at Harvex Solutions, we organize webinars like this quarterly, just to let people know about what we do, to give people more value, yeah, and also for people to understand the kind of services that we also offer in Harvex Solutions, right? Well, you can still ask your questions if you want to ask questions. That is totally fine. Um, so if there are no questions, I think we just want to get your feedback. So you can just go to our website, www. You can fill the form on the website through contact us, and then you can give us feedback. Or better still, you can just respond to one of the emails that we must have shared between the past, just to give feedback on this webinar. Maybe there's a particular topic you would want us to treat in next quarter, or maybe concerning any of our services or any of our partners, or if there's just maybe a positive or a negative, if there's something that you want us to imbibe or to remove from our webinar, we are open. We are open for conversations, and we also want to know how we can be of service to you. One interesting thing about Harvex Solutions is that our services cut across the whole value chain. From data acquisition to interpretation and some advanced studies, from seismic acquisition and processing, to pressure prediction, quantitative interpretation, QI, portfolio analysis. That's very important because that's what I major in. Portfolio analysis and so many others. It's just for you to just come and we can have a conversation and know how we can work with you better. So please, we want your feedback, and that would really, really help us to do better. All right. So at this point, I want NVentures to do a closing remark, and then one of my managers, my general manager, Mr. Azai Odimojo, will also do the closing remark on behalf of Harvex. So Peter, I want you to assign someone from your team. I think Ian is on the call. I don't know, Chris is on the call too. Just assign one person from your team to just give a short closing remark, and then someone from Harvex, my general manager, would also do the closing remark from our hand. Okay. So NVentures team first.
Thank you, Olaitan. Well, you sprung that on me, so I haven't prepped my team, but if Ian Blakely is focused on the call, he might step in now. He's our business development manager for this region. So
okay.
Yeah, but yeah, otherwise my closing remark would simply be thank you. We really, really appreciate this opportunity to address the audience and to enthuse about some of the work we're doing with Harvex and with NUPRC. And yeah, we love the scene in Nigeria, and we want to do a lot more work there and work with the people on the call. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Peter. Thank you, NVentures team. And okay, also, so we have apart from the companies that I called earlier, right? We also want to appreciate people from Britain IU and also Broron. Yes, they are currently on this call. Thank you for joining. Thank you. We really appreciate you taking our time, to join this value-driven webinar. Okay, so my general manager, Mr. Azayo Demojo. Over to you, sir. Jem, we can't hear you if you are speaking, or is it just me?
Olaitan, maybe I should step in again.
Okay, that's fine, MD.
All right. Again, we want to thank everyone for joining this webinar. I trust that it has been insightful, and on the basis of the information and the data that has been shared, you'll be able to make informed decisions. And where you think you need additional support, do feel free, as Olaitan and Pete mentioned, just feel free to come back to us. We do appreciate your time. We also look forward to further engagements with you. Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you, everyone. It was a wonderful 1 hour, 17 minutes with you. And thank you for joining once again. We look forward to your feedback. We look forward to further conversations. We look forward to partnering with you. Thank you, Arado, for joining. Thank you, Rano Akris, for joining. DigiConnect, NVentures team, Wahelp, Pamfa, Onshore Frontiers, Total Energies, Chapal Energies, Britain IU, Brown Energies. Thank you. And so many individuals are on this call. Thank you so much and have a wonderful afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Oh, by the way,
Bye-bye.
Olaitan, I think we need to thank NUPRC for all the support over the years. And hopefully by the time they are watching this webinar, they will be able to use the information that we've provided to have further engagements. Thank you to NUPRC, and thank you to the CCE of NUPRC.
Yes, thank you so much, NUPRC team, for all of the support over the years. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining, and have a peaceful day.
Thanks,
Thank you so much, Peter.
Well done. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you, Peter. Now I can hear you.
Oh, GM, I can hear you now. Thank you so much,
I
sir.
think that's